All right, so you're craving a good cup of coffee, but maybe you don't have a ton of space.
Yeah, maybe you're in a tiny apartment, a dorm room.
Or even just a small kitchen.
Exactly. And that's where the Keurig K-Mini comes in.
So today we're going to do a deep dive into this little coffee maker using this in-depth review as our guide.
And we're going to figure out if this is the right machine for you.
Right, because even if you're short on space, you shouldn't have to compromise on your coffee.
Absolutely. And that's what's so cool about the K-Mini. It's like they designed it with small spaces in mind.
I mean, the review even says it's less than 5 inches wide.
That's tiny. You can practically fit it anywhere.
Seriously. Dorm room, tiny house, even that cramped office kitchenette.
It's all about making sure you can have your coffee ritual no matter where you live.
And speaking of rituals, let's talk about how this thing actually works.
Okay, so picture this. It's Monday morning, you're rushing to get out the door.
But you need that coffee.
You need it. So you grab a K-Cup, pop it in the K-Mini.
Choose your size, and boom! Coffee's ready in like a minute.
It's so fast and simple, there's no messing around with grinders or filters.
Just pure coffee convenience.
Exactly. It's coffee for the modern lifestyle.
Okay, but here's where I get a little skeptical.
What's up?
The review mentions the water reservoir is kind of small.
Ah, yeah, that's the trade-off, I guess. You get that super compact design.
But you might have to refill it more often.
Right. Especially if you're making multiple cups back to back.
That's something to think about for sure.
For sure. Now, another thing the review mentioned was the brewing temperature.
Oh, yeah. Some people said it wasn't quite hot enough.
Yeah, that could be a deal breaker for some coffee lovers.
Especially if you like your coffee piping hot.
Right. If you want that burn your tongue kind of coffee, this might not be the machine for you.
It's maybe not for everyone.
Depends on your preferences.
Now, the review also compared the K-Mini to some other compact coffee makers.
Oh yeah, like the Keurig K Supreme, plus the Ninja Dual Brew Pro.
And even the Hamilton Beach Flex Brew.
Right. So how did the K-Mini stack up against the competition?
Well, it seems like it really shines when it comes to size and simplicity.
It's like the minimalist champion of coffee makers.
Exactly. It's not trying to be the most feature-packed machine.
It just focuses on doing one thing really well.
And that's brewing a quick and easy cup of coffee.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the eco-friendly factor.
Oh, yeah. This is the part that really got me excited. The K-Mini is compatible with the My K-Cup Universal Reusable Filter.
That's huge. It means you can ditch the disposable K-Cups and use your own coffee grounds.
Which is better for the environment and your wallet.
Totally. It's a win-win.
So you get the convenience of a Keurig, but with less waste.
Now, that's what I call a sustainable coffee habit.
Okay, but the review did mention one more thing that I think we should address.
Oh, what's that?
Durability. Apparently, some people have had issues with the K-Mini malfunctioning after a while.
That's definitely something to consider. A coffee maker is an investment, and you want it to last.
Right. So maybe we need to dig a little deeper into those durability concerns.
Yeah, let's unpack that a bit more after the break. So when we talk about durability, it's easy to get kind of freaked out by a few negative reviews online.
Right, like you see one or two people saying it broke down and you're like, oh no, is this thing gonna fall apart?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, everyone's experience is going to be different.
That's true. I mean, some people are just rougher on their appliances than others.
For sure. And sometimes it's just bad luck. You get a faulty unit.
Yeah, like maybe those people who had problems with the K-Mini just got a lemon.
It happens. But the review didn't really go into specifics about how widespread these issues are.
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't know if it's like a common problem or just a few isolated incidents.
Right. So maybe we can ask our listeners to help us out here.
Yeah, if you own a K-Mini, let us know in the comments. Have you had any durability issues?
Yeah, we want to get the full picture here.
And even if something does go wrong, it's not the end of the world, right?
Not necessarily. The review mentioned that Keurig offers a 1-year warranty on the K-Mini.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So at least you're covered for a while.
Exactly.
Good.
It shows that they stand behind their products.
Okay, so we've talked about the size, the speed, the simplicity, the eco-friendliness.
And even the potential durability concerns.
Right, so let's get down to the big question. Is the K-Mini the right coffee maker for you?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the answer really depends on what you're looking for in a coffee maker.
Right, like what are your priorities?
Exactly. So let's say you live in a small space, like a studio apartment or a dorm.
And you need a coffee maker that's compact and convenient.
Then the K-Mini is definitely ticking some boxes.
And if you're all about that grab-and-go lifestyle,
Where you just need a quick cup of coffee in the morning.
then this thing is perfect.
It's all about simplicity and efficiency.
And don't forget the reusable filter.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer. You can use your own coffee grounds, which is great for the environment and your wallet.
So you're not stuck with those expensive K-cups.
Exactly. You have
Yeah.
more control over your coffee experience.
But let's be realistic here. There are some trade-offs with the K-Mini.
Yeah, like what?
Well, if you need to brew multiple cups of coffee in a row,
You're going to be refilling that tiny water reservoir a lot.
and if you're super picky about your coffee temperature,
You might be disappointed.
yeah, the review said it doesn't brew quite as hot as some other machines.
So it's all about weighing the pros and cons and deciding what's most important to you.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to coffee makers.
Right. It's all about finding the right fit for your individual needs and preferences.
Now, while the review focused mainly on the K-Mini itself, it did briefly mention that it uses K-cups.
Ah, yes, those little pods of coffee.
And that got me thinking about something that wasn't really addressed in the review.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, so we're all trying to be more sustainable these days, right?
Absolutely. Reducing our environmental impact is so important.
But how does that fit in with our love for single-serve coffee pods?
That's a good question. Those little plastic pods are convenient, but they create a lot of waste.
Exactly. So it's like we're faced with this dilemma, convenience versus sustainability.
It's a tough one for sure.
Like, do we sacrifice convenience for the sake of the planet?
Or is there a way to have both?
It's a question worth thinking about as you sip your next cup of joe.
I like that. It's all about making conscious choices.
But let's not get too sidetracked here. We were talking about the K-Mini.
Right. Back to the little coffee maker that could.
So have we covered everything?
I think so. We've talked about the size, the speed, the simplicity, the sustainability angle.
Even the durability questions.
Right. We've given our listeners a pretty comprehensive overview.
Hopefully we've armed them with the information they need to decide if the K-Mini is right for them.
And if it's not, that's okay too. There's so many other coffee makers out there.
Exactly. The journey of finding the perfect coffee setup is part of the fun.
Now you're making me want to do a whole deep dive on French presses.
Ooh, that's a good idea. We should put that on the list.
But for now, let's leave our listeners with one final thought about the K-Mini.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
So knowing what we know now about this little coffee maker,
Its strengths, its weaknesses, its convenience, and its limitations.
would you choose it for your own kitchen?
That's a great question. It really forces you to weigh all the factors and make a personal decision.
Exactly. It's about finding the coffee maker that aligns with your lifestyle, your budget, and your values.
And if the K-Mini isn't the right fit for you, that's totally fine.
There's a whole world of coffee out there just waiting to be explored.
So we've talked about like all the features, the pros, the cons, all that good stuff.
We even got into those kind of big picture questions about sustainability and stuff.
Right. But there's one thing we haven't really talked about yet, and that's the price.
Oh yeah, good point. We've got to consider the cost factor too.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great a coffee maker is if it's way out of your budget.
Totally. So is the K-Mini a budget-friendly option?
Or is it going to break the bank?
From what I've seen, it seems like it falls somewhere in the middle,
Okay, so not the cheapest, but not the most expensive either.
right? It's kind of like that Goldilocks zone, you know?
Not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Exactly. Which kind of fits with the whole vibe of the K-Mini anyway.
Right. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Compact, convenient, relatively affordable.
It's not trying to be like the fanciest coffee maker out there.
No, it's just focused on delivering a solid cup of coffee without any fuss.
And for a lot of people, that's exactly what they want.
Absolutely. But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with one last thought.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So we talked about how the K-Mini is compatible with reusable filters.
Which is awesome for the environment.
Right. But it got me thinking about the whole sustainability thing in general.
Yeah, because even if you're using a reusable filter...
There's still a lot of environmental impact that goes into making and transporting coffee.
Oh, totally. It's a complex issue.
It is. So I guess my point is, whether you choose the K-Mini or any other coffee maker.
It's worth taking a moment to think about how your coffee habit impacts the planet.
Like maybe you could try to find ethically sourced beans.
Or support local roasters.
Or even experiment with more traditional brewing methods.
Yeah, there are so many ways to make your coffee routine a little more sustainable.
It's all about finding what works for you and what aligns with your values.
So on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the Keurig Mini.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We talked about the features, the pros and cons, the price.
And even some of the bigger questions surrounding sustainability.
Hopefully you feel like you have a good understanding of this little coffee maker.
And whether it's the right choice for you.
But if it's not, that's totally okay.
There's a whole world of coffee out there just waiting to be discovered.
So until next time, happy brewing, everyone.
Cheers.